Hey, this is advertising the fifth with Move to Sioux Falls. Thanks for checking out another episode. Today we had the pleasure of talking with CJ Werkamp, owner of Fitbody Bootcamp, professional long talker, and follower of Christ. If you like this episode, please hit that like and subscribe button and stay tuned.
All right, how we sounding? Pretty good? A little loud, a little low?
You're probably pretty good, man. You've been doing how many episodes? Like 48, 49 now? Or
We're on like almost 70, I think.
dude,
Yeah.
holy cow.
Yeah. We're getting
That's
there.
awesome.
We did go to an every other week drop rather than a weekly drop though.
Okay.
It gets to be a lot.
Yeah.
So, which I'm sure you're finding out.
So hit fire question, CJ. Just getting to know a little bit about who you are. I'll start off with one that's really easy. What's your favorite place in Sioux Falls?
Man, there's a lot of places that I enjoy in Sioux Falls, but lately my wife and I have been really enjoying downtown.
Okay.
We've just been having fun. We've been having fun kind of, actually it was a week ago. We hit our 9-year anniversary.
Oh, congrats,
Thank
dude.
you. Thank you. And a dating idea that we had a long time ago was we went one place for appetizers, one place for the meal,
Oh, yeah.
one place for dessert, and then another place just for drinks afterwards.
Mhm.
And so we kind of recreated that date night on a week or so ago when we hit our anniversary. And so we were downtown and we just kind of hit up a couple different spots. And I don't know, I think it's fun too just to see all the different people out there. Because I feel like when you do go to different places in Sioux Falls, like you don't see a lot of people like moving around and doing stuff. You go to that one place, you're there. But when you're downtown, like you're seeing everything happening, and it's your one restaurant or drink spot is kind of more like dive-ish bar feel, right next to like a high-end bar
Yeah,
feel, and
sure.
everybody's all just hanging out together. It's a fun vibe. I love going downtown.
That's all. So, what 4 places did you kind of like go along the way?
Yeah,
quickly,
so
if I could follow up?
we went back and forth because we couldn't really decide exactly where we wanted to go.
Okay.
So we ended up starting at Texas Roadhouse,
Okay.
which we have decided multiple times over that we need one on the east side of town.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. And so having that entrepreneurial spirit in me, I always tell my wife when we go there, I'm like, should we just open one on the east side? And she's like, CJ, we have enough on our plates. Like, stop even saying that. And so that gets shut down quick. But so we went to Texas Roadhouse and we got the potato skins. And then my wife loves their salads. She thinks that their ranch is just amazing, which I agree. It's really good ranch.
Yeah.
So we got salads, and then we, of course, had to have some of their buns.
Dude,
they're the
yeah,
best.
their cinnamon butter,
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah. My son, he's 7. He'll go there just for the buns. Like, we're all ordering, like, Blake, what do you want? He's like, just buns. We're like, well, you're not going to get any food. No, I just want the buns. I'm like, well, okay. So he just gets the buns.
Okay.
But yeah, then after that, where'd we go? We left there, and then we just stopped at Vinyl Taco.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't actually know this, but they've got that social club, right?
Yeah.
Next to it. But apparently that's only open on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought that maybe it was open, all week or whatever. But so we stopped there. My wife isn't my wife's taste for food isn't near as wide as mine.
Yeah.
So sometimes like we get stuck with pretty just like plain Jane food.
Yeah,
because
you need to
that's what my wife likes.
expand her palate a little
Yeah,
bit.
she doesn't want to though, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's her thing. But so we went to Vinyl Taco, but she's not really like into tacos and all that stuff. So we ended up just having a couple drinks there, but we sat on their patio. We realized though that the patio there being on like 41st and Western, it's a little noisy to sit on that patio. It's not like a relaxing vibe. It was just more of like a busy vibe. So we went there though, had a couple drinks, and then we ended up going downtown after we kind of hit those couple spots. And we went downtown, and then that's where we ended up hitting Fiero's Pizza, which I think that's a hidden gem. I was talking to my parents about it. They'd never heard of it. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Of course,
I've been
right?
there. Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
It's
Make
great.
your own pizza. I'm a pizza lover.
Yeah.
A lot
Okay.
of times people think like, hey, because you own gyms, you probably
can't eat pizza
you
at
can't
all.
eat pizza, you can't eat dessert. And I'll tell you what, like I think I own gyms because I like to eat food. Like that's why I opened my own gyms, because I couldn't just get a membership somewhere. I literally had to like buy the whole gym because that's what I need for me to stay in shape. Because I just love eating. Like I am a foodie at the core. If I didn't work out, I swear I'd be 300 plus pounds.
Oh, same here, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because I just love eating. One of my favorite things, and one of my podcast episodes, I don't even remember what episode, but I was talking about like, my favorite dessert. And do you know what a pizookie is?
I haven't actually. I'm pretty well versed in a lot of food and cultural. I've been to a lot of places,
Yeah.
but I've never heard of what a pizookie is.
So I didn't know that it was called this.
Okay.
I don't actually even know where I found out that it was called this, but a pizookie is one of those cast iron skillets with the cookie in it,
Okay.
like a hot cookie,
Oh.
and then ice cream on top.
Granite City has those.
Granite City has them. Mackenzie River has them.
Yeah.
But so I love just eating. It's amazing. Like,
Dude.
so many different foods.
I feel like right after this, we should just go get a pizookie.
I mean, I'm always down for
Okay.
a pizookie. But anyway, so we went to Fiero Pizza, got a pizza there, and then we ended up heading over to Mackenzie River.
Yeah.
Had a pizookie, which they don't even call it a pizookie there. It's called a McLovin at
What?
Mackenzie River. I don't actually think anywhere in Sioux Falls calls them pizookies.
Okay.
And I think that's why I didn't know they were called pizookie, because I was getting them here in town, and then when I was working for HQ and traveling more than I am now, I would go different places, and that's where all of a sudden someone was like, dude, have you had a pizookie? I'm like, no, what's a pizookie? And they told me, and I was like, yeah. Well, you mean like a cookie with ice cream on it? And they're like, yeah, it's called a pizookie. I'm like, I had no idea. But then we went and they had a whole, I don't even remember where we went, but it was like a whole pizookie list. And you could get like white chocolate macadamia nut with the blueberry syrup. You could get like a blueberry muffin type.
This was at Fiero's?
This was not at Fiero's.
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. This was, yeah.
I'm trying to think like where did you connect the dots from Fiero's to the dessert piece? Like where was the dessert?
Downtown. We went to Mackenzie River.
Oh, Mackenzie River.
Mackenzie River. That's where the
Okay.
McLovin.
Okay.
They have that
Yes.
McLovin.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So
dude.
But yeah, so we actually went to 4 spots.
Okay.
I guess we went to Texas Roadhouse, obviously not downtown. Then we went to Vinyl Taco.
Yeah.
Then we went to Fiero Pizza, and then we went to Mackenzie River.
Okay.
And so we hit those.
And did
4
you guys get
different
drinks
spots.
afterwards or?
We ended up having drinks at Mackenzie River.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome.
While we were having dessert and whatnot.
Dude,
so,
there you go.
yeah,
It's just like efficiency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was a lot of
awesome.
fun. Back in the day when we did it, we went to Pizza Rev when it used to be open by Hy-Vee.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to Pizza Rev, and then I can't remember where we went. Oh, then we went to Applebee's. But maybe not this order. But I know we went to Applebee's, we went to Pizza Rev. We ended up at Crave downtown. And then there was one other spot. But it's a lot of fun to do that and
That's
just
awesome.
get like one thing at each spot. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kayla and I think on our 3rd or 4th anniversary, we did that. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's an anniversary date night thing.
It
you
sure
know?
could
Like,
be.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things though where I have realized in Sioux Falls, I've lived here my whole life. And so nothing brought me to Sioux Falls except for birth. That brought me to Sioux Falls. But the more and more that I've been just getting out in our town, like there's a lot more to do in Sioux Falls than people realize.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to look, I guess, for it and try to be a little more connected and go out of your way to find it. But once you start looking, there is a ton to do.
I don't think you have to look very hard. I mean,
No.
we had Megan Raposa on, and she was like, if you say there's nothing to do, you're not really looking very hard. Because, like, I could literally go on, like, a Facebook dad's page.
Yep.
And it'd be like, hey, I got my 2 kids on Friday. Anybody doing anything? And they, like, tons of comments would be like, I'm going here. You want to come with me? Like, there's just a ton to do.
Yeah. There is, but I think for some reason though, there's like this disconnect of wanting to go do something and then like looking for something to go do. People somehow they just feel like they want to go do something and somehow they should just know without looking. Like people don't look. You're right though. Like if people would just look, they'd find something to go do.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times I feel that people are not looking for what there is to go do because there's so much to do. Like we haven't even been to the downtown theater yet, but I've heard so many like great things about just going downtown to the downtown theater, and like my wife and I haven't even been there.
Dude, I fall asleep every time because their chairs are so
comfy.
You just like go back and you're like, all right.
But that's the best nap you're gonna
yeah,
get.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like no kids around.
The
you're
background
like, all right.
noise is going on. You're in a comfortable chair. You just pass out.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's a nap I'd pay for.
Yeah. So CJ, you've had the honor and the top spot of longest hip fire question right there.
Let's go.
So
I don't do fire questions.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm a talker.
That's
okay,
fine.
now we'll go fire questions.
No, okay. So off the top of your head, right? First thing that comes to mind, what's your favorite sport to do, like, or outdoor activity?
I don't do sports.
Okay.
So
cool.
top
works
mind.
out, but no sports.
Yeah, and that's all. See, we don't do fire questions with CJ.
Okay, that's fine.
We do in-depth answers.
Okay.
I don't do sports. People think that, like, oh, you own a gym, you probably play a lot of sports. You probably love sports. No, I don't like them at all. I think it's a waste of time to watch them. People are like, what's your favorite football team? I'm like, that's the one with, like, they throw the ball, right? They don't kick it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dumb when it comes to sports. Like, I do obviously know the difference between football and soccer and whatnot. But yeah, no, me and sports, literally, I couldn't tell you team names, who plays what. I'm not into it.
Okay, let's do
scratch that question. Throw it out. Don't even let that one hit the podcast.
No, we're gonna put it in.
If that one hits the podcast, I'm not watching this episode.
Okay. Well, I'll just let you know that it's not in there, and then you'll watch it and find out. You'll get mad.
Okay.
So
deal.
Okay, outdoor activity though. Is there like something that you like love to go do?
I don't like doing anything. I like sitting on the couch. That's all I do. Just couch sitting. That's a lie. That's a lie.
I was gonna say your Fitbody members are gonna be like, I should just sit on the couch.
I just wanted to see the look on your face when you're like, I can't. This guy.
I can't interview him.
He's done. Doesn't do anything. Favorite activity, man. I love side-by-siding.
Okay.
And I don't even know if you call it side-by-siding, but that's what I'm gonna call it.
That's where you like have the like kind of the 4-wheeler with the top over you, and you drive with someone on the side of you.
Yeah, you sit side by side, and I guess that's why it's called the side by side. But I love it. I got into it probably 4 years ago.
Okay.
I always had ATVs growing up. My parents actually live on an acreage outside of town. And they have 20 acres, and so I always rode ATV growing up, and we had 4-wheelers on the property. And I always had one growing up, and I went out to the hills with some really good friends of mine probably 4 or 5 years ago, and they brought side-by-sides. And I brought just an ATV, but we went up there and we started, and like it was like just driving on the hills and stuff was just so much fun.
Super nice.
So fun.
Yeah.
And it really intrigued me, like, man, I want to get one. So actually when I got back, I started looking, and I ended up selling my 4-wheeler and getting a side-by-side. And at the time I got a 2-seater, and just recently I traded in my 2-seater for a 4-seater so that I can get some of the kids.
The 4-seaters are wild, man.
Yeah,
I feel like they flip a little.
Long.
They're a little bit like teetery.
Well, this one we have is like it's a super wide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more of like a sporty one.
Yeah.
Rather than like a utility one, but it's super wide. But I tell you what, so we took it out to the hills just a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time this drops, probably a month ago or so, whatever. But we took it out to the hills, and I tell you what, it was like trying to maneuver a limo. I would assume, kind of like getting around in the trails, but it was so much fun, just a blast. So I love that, and I think it's fun too because outdoors is amazing. Mm-hmm. I asked my wife this question the other day, and I was like, we just got a new puppy. And so I was looking at this puppy's face, and my wife loves outdoors and animals and this. And I was like, man, babe, I was like, do you ever like find yourself looking at just either whether it be nature or animals and just be like, how did God do this? Like I was looking at this little puppy's face and all the intricate details of this puppy's face. And I was like, holy smokes. Like how do you do this? Right?
I don't know.
And my wife was like, I don't ever think that way, but she goes, I do just get caught in the beauty of nature. And I think that's one thing about being outdoors, going on the side by side, just seeing the views and then being able to stop. And the next thing you know, you're going on a little hike and you're just finding these areas that kind of are off the beaten path, and you kind of have to go find them.
Yeah.
Again, not much of a fire answer.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah. I love it. I always think like when God's doing something, I'm like, how did he create all of this stuff and have the knowledge to do all of it? Yeah. And then if we had that knowledge, our heads would explode. Like I always think that every time. Like I'm like, I might not think like in like the beauty of it always. I do at times, but I'm just like, how is there this much information that you can create something like this?
Yeah.
So
it's wild.
So wild.
Yeah, man.
I think we're going to conclude our hip fire questions with that because I feel like we're just going to go right into the conversation. So All right, CJ. So we're here.
Yeah.
Did some hip fire questions. I guess it was more in-depth questions
Yeah,
before we
that's
get
my
to
bad.
That's okay. I don't care. So we're here at Cathedral Views. It's a Sodex Days managed property. I run Move to Sioux Falls, and we're more than just a real estate company over here. We're not just another transaction, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
But we just want to like find people in Sioux Falls, why they're here, why they've chosen to maybe stay here if they haven't moved from far away. I know you talked about like, here's your birthplace, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So like maybe the first question I had is like, why have you like chosen to stay in Sioux Falls? Like what makes Sioux Falls so attractive for you?
Yeah. I think definitely families here, number one. Number two, I have learned a lot more recently that when I do travel, whether it be for work or whatever, people just aren't the same in other states and other areas as they are in Sioux Falls. Like there's just this kind of vibe that we have in Sioux Falls where people tend to genuinely care about other people. And I feel that when I'm here. And when you're not here, you know, I always kind of relate it to I'll be at a store or something when I'm out traveling and I'll maybe hold the door for someone. And more times than not, people will look at you like, why are you holding the door for me?
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like a genuine, like, hey, thank you. And like, it's just kind of common courtesy here.
Oh, for sure.
So the people here are just amazing.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I mean, I feel like I have that all the time. I'm at Aldi and they're like, here, take my card. I'll give you a quarter. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Like now I don't have to like lug my kids all the way back and forth. And it's really good. It's just like a great vibe. Yeah. As I would put it.
Yeah. People trying to help people.
Yeah.
And it is good, you know? So yeah.
I don't know why like people lose that, like when they go like move somewhere
I think it's
else
the busyness because I think that as we've gotten busier, there has been times where I felt that we've lost it a little bit here.
Yeah.
But then it always tends to remind me that it isn't lost when I do travel because it's way lost when you travel.
Oh, for sure.
But I just think that as places get busier and more people come, you know, the simplistic lifestyle is more genuine. And so Sioux Falls has always been kind of that more simple lifestyle, whereas now it's definitely getting to be a busier place to be, a more hopping place to be. Yeah. And so we still have that foundation of care, that foundation of genuine love for people. But you can see as we're growing, we're having to combat that a little bit. And it's not lost by any means.
No, I feel like even like when we met at the garage gym, thank you, Amos, for letting us meet. It was like, we just like hit it off. We both were like super energetic, but then we were super like both Christians, like figuring out in the world of like, oh, this guy's nice. Oh, this dude's energetic. Oh, like, and then we were just like, had the simple lifestyle of like, oh, what are you doing today? I was like, well, probably going to like, go read my Bible after this workout. We prayed together, and then it was like, I don't really know. I'll figure it out. But, you know, it's just kind of like a fly by the seat of your pants, but just kind of in a simple, like...
Yeah. You know, just helping each other out.
Yeah, for sure. Know? And I think we keep it simple where we're just like... I always feel like when people call like the Bible Belt over like by Tennessee, I always feel like now it's like kind of shifted over here to like... you know, the Midwest area, where it's like faith, family, and then friends. Like that's kind of like a really simple, easy terms to put it. Yeah. But yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with this this rant, but I figured that makes it super simple, super simple living. And then, you know, when there's a ton of extra people that come in, you just like kind of add distractions, I think. Absolutely. And that's kind of what gets you off course.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the noise in the world can distract us a lot, you know? And sure. I just feel that when you can genuinely care about others, I feel that when I do travel, and this obviously isn't always, but I tend to find that a lot of the places that I go, you find people with a way more what's in it for me mentality than here. Whereas like, hey, yes, obviously I want to benefit in life, but how can I help this person along the way? Yeah. And really, I think, you know, at your core, that is definitely there. At my core, that's definitely there. I think that's why we mesh well.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. It goes beyond like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. It's more like, I'll scratch your back. I don't really care if I get my back scratched, you know? Yep. So, maybe tell the viewers like a little bit about your story, because when I kind of got like the high level view of like, hey, I became an entrepreneur. I think you told me you were doing like the vape stuff first,
Yeah.
and then you were like, I got to get out of that, and then you like went over into fitness hardcore. So maybe just like kind of give me a little bit deeper of an explanation of like how that all came about.
Yeah. So my grandma and her brother-in-law owned a business here in Sioux Falls. It was called Queen City Wholesale.
Okay.
And so that business delivered candy, tobacco, paper products, and goods to gas stations, convenience stores, restaurants, all over.
Okay.
And so that was in town here for, man, I want to say like 60 years.
Holy cow.
It closed probably 7 years ago.
Okay, like just before COVID, like.
Yeah, I think so. Right around then. I don't know exactly when that closed, but they decided to shut it down. I worked there for 9 years, and because it was a candy and tobacco and then other products, but because it was tobacco at one of the things, which is kind of wild. Like so obviously you see cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
All the time. Who really takes the time to actually think about cigarettes other than maybe smokers, right?
Yeah, and high schoolers who think they're cool.
Right. But one of the things that's crazy about it is I didn't realize. So, and maybe lots of people didn't realize this. Well, why would you? But like the cigarette companies, they make their cigarettes, they package them up.
Yeah.
And there's no state tax on any of them because they just make them and then they send them to all the different states. So one of the things that Queen City did, and my dad was in charge of this, we had a big stamping machine at Queen City. But when we would order cigarettes, call it be Marlboro or Camels or whatever, they'd come in with no state tax on them. And then the state, so that the state could get their money, has to put their tax stamp on it. And so when the cases would come in, we'd have to cut the cases open, put them through the machine. It would literally open up the carton of cigarettes, and this machine would stamp every individual pack of cigarettes with the South Dakota state tax stamp.
Oh, wow.
And so my dad ran that. And so he had to continually, back in the day, go down to the courthouse and purchase a meter of stamps. And it was just this huge roll of stamps. And every time it would get done stamping so many cartons of cigarettes, you'd have to go back down to the courthouse and buy more stamps. But it's just wild. But because that was part of our industry, tobacco, we all of a sudden, and I don't even remember the exact year, but we got approached. This vape thing was starting to be in, like, it was brand new. Nobody really knew about it at the time. It was just starting. And we had someone say, hey, I want you guys to wholesale and distribute these electronic cigarettes. You guys sell regular cigarettes. I think you'd do well selling vapes. And this was even before like Marlboro and Camel all had their own. They all have their own now. But
this is like the Jewel and stuff came out.
Right? Like even before that. Like like before that. It was brand new. Like it was maybe Cali had it or whatnot. But we didn't have it here in Sioux Falls yet. And so this brand, it was called E3 Cigs. This guy brought to us, and so we started selling it. We got it into all the Hy-Vees, and
this was wholesaling it to all these places.
So they would sell it to us, and we'd purchase it by the quantity. And then we would then distribute it to the Hy-Vees. We had it at Hy-Vee gas stations. We had it at I don't think we got it into the Get and Goes, but all around town. And then all of a sudden, the guy that brought it to us, we had known him. He actually was one of the guys in our church growing up or whatever, and he got into it. And I had this kind of thought. He came to us, and he's like, I want to open a vape store. And I think that you guys have good connection. I'm looking to get some partners to open this store. And I had this thought. I was always into health and wellness, kind of after high school, because I found myself going through a health and fitness journey in high school. And so that kind of stayed with me. And I found myself like, there's an opportunity here because cigarette smoking, I know, is not healthy. At the time, I didn't have any idea what vaping did to a person. I mean,
there was no data behind it. So.
And so my mindset or thought was, hey, this is like a healthier alternative. And if we can help people stop smoking, because my dad was a smoker growing up. And I don't like it. I don't like being around smoke and just the smell. And I was like, if we can help people, it's better for their health. I was like, hey, cool. And so when he approached us, my dad and I actually went together as one partner. So my dad and I were one, and then there was 3 others. So there was 4 equal partners, but then my dad and I had one of those 4 parts when we ended up opening a vape store. because he wanted to open a vape store. The guy that brought those cigarettes to us, the electronic ones. So we opened the first vape store in Sioux Falls. It was called Vape Connection.
Okay, yeah.
It was right by Olive Garden.
Yeah, I remember it.
Now it's still there. It's called Third Eye Vape.
Yep.
Or Third Eye.
Same owners?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
Because I think one of the owners still owns it.
Okay.
But there was 4 of us. Oh, 5. My dad and I were 1,
Yeah.
right? And it actually started making a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
And when you've got 4 partner, I mean, having a partnership, like you think about a marriage, that's a partnership.
Yeah.
And marriage is hard.
Oh, yeah.
You think about now having 4 partners
to communicate with all
to
4 of those.
communicate. And obviously we all have different mindsets and thoughts on how this thing should run and what should be done and who should do what.
Yeah.
It started to fizzle out. And next thing you know, we all weren't getting along. They were blaming us. We were blaming them. Everyone was blaming everyone. And there was probably no one to blame other than the fact that this business started growing and we didn't know how to be partners.
Yeah.
Right. And so it came to a point where they wanted to buy my dad and I out. And we're like, yeah, we want it. We'll leave. We'll get out. So we sold out to them, and that's why I don't really know exactly who owns what anymore.
For sure.
Because we got out, but when we got out, I told my dad. At the time, I was still kind of working full time at Queen City. I worked there for 9 years at Queen City. And I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I really want to do something different than Queen City.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something with health and fitness. And so when we knew how much money we were going to get bought out, I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, would I be able to take that money? I'm an only child. I was like, would I be able to take that money and start a gym or something health or fitness related?
Yeah.
Like my parents, I probably have the most supportive parents in the world.
Yeah.
And I take that for granted a lot because a lot of times you'll talk with someone and they don't have that support system. And I feel like I can always remember myself, my mom especially, I would like shoot out this dream or this idea and she'd always be like, yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
And so I always had this like belief system built into me that I can go do whatever I put my mind to, which is amazing.
For sure.
Because a lot of people don't have that. But so my dad and mom agreed, like, yeah, go figure out what you want to do. And that is when I really started looking and found Fitbody Bootcamp as an opportunity. And so that's kind of how, and that's a long answer. Again, I don't do fire. I don't do fire.
I'm glad. I this isn't hit fire anymore. We've gotten to know CJ already, and we've gotten to know a little bit about, why you're in Sioux Falls.
But so that's why I looked into Fitbody, because for a time, so when I left high school, 2008 I graduated. 2009 I went to school up in Minneapolis.
Okay.
I got certified as a personal trainer.
Oh, there you go.
Up in Minneapolis.
Okay.
In 2009, I came back and I worked for a gym here in town, and I was just a personal trainer. I don't say
was this
just
like before Great Life even?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you were like kind of like I said, a pioneer.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Tryon was the big gym. I don't know if you know of Tryon here in town, but they had gyms everywhere. There was probably 5 Tryons in town.
Okay.
And I got hired on as a personal trainer at Tryon, and I didn't love it. I did not like, and nothing to do with Tryon or anything like that. I just did not like one-on-one training. I don't know what it was, but I was also young. I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
So I was young. I wasn't even honestly living the best lifestyle. I was partying and doing all the things, that really are not congruent with health, fitness, or personal training.
Yeah.
But I still like to work out myself and help others out. So I got that job, but I realized that it wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. And there was that gap from 2010 to 2015. That's when I opened Fitbody.
Okay.
But 5 years where I didn't really do a lot at all with health or fitness, but I always had that want to do something with health and fitness. And so I think Great Life, I don't even know when it started, but I want to say maybe like 2013, 2014. So it was starting to become the thing. And you could tell it was going to be the thing because they were doing it right.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of people telling me, go work for Great Life. And one of the things I can remember someone told me, they're like, go work for Great Life because that's a guaranteed income and it's guaranteed that you're going to have a job. And I was like, I'm not looking for a guarantee. What I'm looking for is an opportunity to pour my heart into, to pour my passion into, and to really help change people's lives.
Yeah.
And so that's why I decided to open Fitbody, and why I chose Fitbody, Albert. Crazy thing is that when I knew the amount of money we were going to get as a payout from the vape shop.
And that happened. So you were working as a trainer
Yep.
from till 2009, 10, try on
2009, 10 as
and
a
then
trainer.
you had that like vape thing kind of happen in that.
Vape thing happened probably like 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so I know the
Yep,
like
kind of a
timeline
timeline,
of
yeah.
everything. Okay.
2013-ish.
Yeah. Okay.
And
But the crazy thing was.
yeah, well, when I knew that money that was coming,
Yeah.
I started looking and I was like, man, I have a passion for health and fitness, but I don't know how to do
Yeah.
my own business or anything. And I ended up landing on this website, and literally like the header of the website, it was like, do you have a passion for health and fitness and don't know how to run a business?
Oh,
Click
okay.
here. I was like, dude, I should click here.
Oh,
so I
okay.
clicked, and
It's
next
not
thing,
a scam at all.
it wasn't a scam. Who knows? It might have been, whatever. But here we are, almost 10 years later, and it's been amazing. But that's how I found Fitbody.
Okay.
I did not do my due diligence at all looking into what even was Fitbody.
Yeah.
I didn't have a dang clue. I didn't even know what a franchise really was.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I just know I need help, right? And so super stupid, dumb, naive. I don't read any paperwork they send me. They send me this FDD, this,
all the legal things that
all
you're
the
supposed to
legal
sign on a
things, all this,
franchise, like what you can and
paperwork you're
can't
supposed
do.
to sign, this and that. And I probably should have read them, but I didn't. And I just ended up signing. I was like, dude, just help me out. We can make this thing happen. I'm like, sign now, ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
And I ended up telling my girlfriend at the time, fiance, actually, we were going to be getting married here soon. I was like, hey, babe, I'm opening a gym. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm quitting my job. I'm going to open a gym. She's like, we're getting married. I'm like, yeah, but they told me, when I was on the phone, I told them I was getting married and it probably wasn't the right time. And the guy on the phone told me, like, there'll probably never be a right time. And I believe him. Like, there probably won't be. So I'm going to start a gym.
I agree with that statement. There's never a right time.
There is never a right time.
No.
That is the truth. But so I ended up, this was like December of 2014 when I found Fitbody. And we were engaged, going to be getting married in July.
Yeah.
And we end up opening Fitbody in May of 2015. So we opened in May of 2015, and then my wife and I got married in July of 2015.
Okay.
So talk about not a right time. Yeah, not a right time.
Yeah.
Like, we're just making it happen. I look back, and I don't even know how we made it. The money that we got from the vape actually helped, right? Of course. But we had a wedding to pay for. We had all this stuff going on in our lives. Like, we weren't by any means at a financial spot where it made sense to open a business. But it was one of those things where you just got to start, right?
Oh,
literally
for
living
sure.
on a prayer. Just, I had no idea. And I look back at it and I'm like, how did we make ends meet? And I don't know. But one funny thing is I have a scar right here on my finger.
Yeah. I see that.
You see it?
Yeah.
I got that scar from a can of corn. And why that's funny is because back in the day, that can of corn, that was my meal. Like, that is literally, like, I didn't have enough money to buy food. Like, we had no money,
You're like,
man.
hey, we pay for the gym, and then it's like, oh, we don't have any money.
Dude, we paid for the gym, we paid for a wedding, all this stuff. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Did you even go on a honeymoon?
We did.
Okay.
And crazy thing is, when I started the gym, I had no employees, nobody. I was like so nervous. I didn't think we could afford it. I had no idea. So we start this gym. I'm the only person. I had nobody working for me.
Oh, man.
And we've got 3 or 4 sessions in the morning, 3 or 4 sessions in the afternoon. And so when we go on our honeymoon, I'm literally like,
who's going to do these?
Who's going to do these things? So I found a couple clients. I was like, hey, can you just like come in here and run the sessions? And then I was like, my mom even ran some sessions. Like, we just made it work. Just figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, and so one of my favorite things is I actually have in our process book somewhere the FIO process, and it's figure it out.
Okay.
And literally it is just figure it out. Like, how do you do it? I don't know. Ask somebody.
Yeah, just text people. Just start like, hey, how do you do this?
And someone asked me the other day, like, are you the kind of guy that will, if you're like going somewhere and you get lost, are you the kind of guy that's just going to keep on trying to find your way, or will you stop and ask a question? I'm the kind of guy, I'm going to stop and ask a question. Like, hey, where am I? Where do I go? And I think that's one of the biggest things that's helped me in life get to where I'm at, is like, I'm not afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
I will ask anybody for help. And I don't know, I feel like that is, I guess, something where you kind of got to humble yourself. And
I love it. Yeah.
realize, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I need help.
Dude, I'm so bad at that with my wife. I'll be like,
I got it. I don't need your help, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's
And
like,
I think maybe that is an area that I struggle too. It's something weird, right? With like you're married.
yeah.
But I struggle. I
But
guess,
if you're like in
asking-
business or
Yeah.
like you're on your own, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I could ask people for help. But then
Yeah.
when you're by your wife, you're like, oh, I need to look like
Yeah.
I'm the man. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
But back to my can of corn
Yeah,
story.
that's awesome.
So why this scar just kind of reminds me is that like, man, you can make anything happen. And the reason that it does is because I would coach the morning sessions. I would literally then from that point call people and try to sign them up. I'd meet with our clients for the nutrition, do everything. I'd find somewhere in the interim or middle of the day to maybe try to take a nap or try to get some food or whatever. But I used to just live, right down from where our original location was.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran home quick to get some food, and my wife happened to be home that day. I don't even know why, but I ended up ripping open a can of corn. You know how it has a little tab, like you pop open and you can peel it open.
Yeah.
But when I went to rip it open, I was holding the can and it bent up and it sliced me like deep.
Oh.
And I don't know what my deal is with like blood or whatever, if it's my own blood, but I just got pale.
Oh no.
And I ended up like falling over because I'm like, oh my gosh, my finger. Again, obviously it's got it's a scar, so it was a pretty decent cut. But I ended up like eating my corn, but I wrapped my finger in like a Band-Aid, and also I'm like, man, I got to get back because the afternoon sessions are starting here. So I get back and I've got my finger wrapped up in this thing. And to this day, it reminds me that like, back in the day, you didn't have money to even afford food. You were eating a can of corn for your lunch.
Yeah.
You were running all the sessions. I don't care how hard it is. Keep going.
I think it's cool too because you said you're a huge foodie, and then you're like, "Hey, I got no money. I'm gonna resort to." And I like how you said can of corn. It was like a lot of people be like, "Dude, you could like eat ramen for like a year straight, and then you like could make it."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But like the can of corn works out way better, I think, since you're Fitbody.
Yeah.
So.
But so that can of corn still with me.
That's awesome.
Every day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're running Fitbody.
Yeah.
You're now doing Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls, right? Podcast.
Yep.
Are you on YouTube?
Yep.
Okay. And what are you
on
trying?
YouTube, it's just under CJ Werkamp.
Okay, on YouTube it's under CJ Werkamp. Hey, if you need help, I could tell you how to switch that up.
Yeah. No, I like it under my name.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what are you trying to get out of that messaging for that Sioux Falls?
Yeah, so we've had Fitbody now for 9 years.
Okay.
And I've wanted to start a podcast. And the big thing that I've realized is, and I know this, but Fitbody isn't right for everybody.
Yeah.
And I do know, though, that fitness and health is right for everybody.
For sure.
Like, I think staying active, staying fit, and doing things to move your body, to feel better about who you are, build your confidence, and really enjoy this one life that we have. Like, that's really why I started Fitbody. It wasn't because I wanted to own a business. It was because I wanted to help people build confidence, believe in who they are, and enjoy who they see when they look back in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want them to enjoy themselves because I struggled with that for so long, Albert. And I still struggle with it because that's like ingrained into my core of just like having low self-esteem, low self-confidence. And so Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls, my idea with that is, honestly, I don't care what gym you go to. I don't care how you work out. I don't even care if you go to a gym, but I do want you to be fit and be healthy. And I want people to be able to know what to do. And a lot of people, if you don't know what to do, how do you know what to do?
Yeah.
Right? Like, where do you go? And I think that walking into a gym, if you have weight to lose, if you are struggling with confidence,
for sure.
Dude, walking into a gym is like one of the hardest things to do. Like, you're struggling with self-confidence. You don't feel good with the way that you look. How the heck am I going to muster up enough confidence to go walk through the gym door and hopefully feel like I'm going to be accepted? Like, these guys all work out.
Yeah, and then you compare yourself. Yeah.
You're like, there's no way.
For sure. I think they said there's a stat, it's like 50% of like working out is actually going to the gym.
Yeah, walking through the door and doing it. And so my whole idea with it is, what if I could help people find different things in Sioux Falls in ways to stay fit and healthy in Sioux Falls. And so that's the whole idea with it. And so right now we're actually in a series of Meet the Coach. And so I'm just kind of getting my coaches on the episode so that they can meet, because they all live here in town. And so they're kind of talking about what they do to stay fit, how they incorporate healthy eating into their families and this and that. But I've had a gal. Her name is Katie. She owns South Dakota Aerial and Arts.
Yeah.
She was on there talking about they got bungee fitness and different stuff that's going on.
Awesome.
I have had just a couple different really interesting and cool people on there that do. I found a gal that does like hip hop and dance fitness, and she was on there. But just trying to find different ways for people to move their bodies.
Yeah.
Because maybe Fitbody is not right for you. At the end of the day, I would love for everybody to try Fitbody.
Yeah.
Because here's the one thing that I know. If Fitbody isn't right for you, I definitely don't have the mentality, nor does my team, get them locked into a contract, get them signed up no matter what.
Yeah.
I have the mindset of like, man, if they come to us for help and we're not the right fit, maybe let's show them what else is maybe a right fit. We've had some people come to us in the past and it wasn't a right fit. And I just so had happened at the time, I had met the owner of like the Club Pilates here in town.
Yeah.
So I hooked them up with that, and they went and tried out Club Pilates. We've had clients that for whatever reason it wasn't the right fit, and now they're at Hot Works. Some of them go to Burn Boot Camp, and like my big thing is like, hey, we might not be right for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
There's 200,000 people in this town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
And so I don't see the other gyms as my competitors.
Yeah.
As a
you don't
gym,
see them as your network.
as a
referring
gym
out.
industry, we should be working together to help people combat the laziness of sitting on the couch and watching the Netflix.
For sure.
The laziness of just eating fast food. And the thing of it is like, if you're on the go and you need something quick to eat, there's healthy options out there, but we are so swamped with all the unhealthy options. It's just way easier to just stop at Mickey D's and do that. But if you know that you can do other things, then you're going to make those choices and you're going to feel better because you're actually going to like feel good.
Yeah. It kind of goes back to the whole, Sioux Falls. Like you're always wanting to like help out because that's like what's in your core, right?
Yeah.
It's like just help the other person out without any scratches back, right?
Yep. And the big thing with it is I wasn't ever able to do the podcast back in the day because I was doing all the things. Well, now I have such an amazing team at the gym that I know are keeping the gym going, taking care of our clients, that I have time to invest in our own podcast.
Yeah.
And so it's been a lot of fun doing
awesome.
that. And
I feel like next time we're on, we should like walk on a treadmill or something while we're talking, so we're not showing that we're just sitting all the time, right? Yeah. So
absolutely
cool. Last question for you before we kind of wrap things up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you had to take, or let me rephrase this, Sioux Falls is awesome.
Yep.
And it's the best big little city, I would say. Now it's bigger. But if there were three things that you had to choose or could bring into Sioux Falls to make it even better, what would they be? And if you can only think of like one or two, that's totally fine too.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I think because as I've been thinking, like there is so much that's coming to Sioux Falls right now. Like Sioux Falls is growing so much. Like if you had asked me this question 5 years ago, there'd have been so many answers that I would have.
For sure. Texas Roadhouse on the east side.
Texas
that's
Roadhouse
number
on
one,
the east
I think.
side. Like that's one.
I love their bloomin' onion. So
it's great.
Yeah.
I do too as well. Texas Roadhouse on the east side.
Okay.
That would definitely be one. But I mean, if you think about all the things that we have here in Sioux Falls compared to other towns or cities, there's not a lot that we don't have. And if you really look, we have it. Like one thing that came to mind was like I was in Miami. And I was walking around and I found this outdoor gym. And it was the coolest thing. Like it had like bikes and like and all these machines. It had like mounted machines that you used your own body weight. So however you sat on it, your body weight became the weight, and it had like chest press and all this stuff. But we actually just got an outdoor gym park. Like last year.
Off of 26th Street.
Right off 26th. So we have one. I don't know if we have more. But so like as I'm thinking about this, like, what would I add? Man, we're getting it. Like everything is coming. It might not all be here.
Yeah, we're even getting ice skating rink. I think it next January 2025. We should be like having it.
You know, and so I think about that, and it's like I don't know what I would add.
Okay.
The one thing that I do like, but I also see the downside. But man, I have so much fun riding those little scooter things when you go to other cities.
Oh, dude, I want those scooters so bad.
Yeah, so I think that would be something I would add. But I also see the downside too, because people don't take care of them. But I also feel that with the Sioux Falls mentality, I feel that we might just as a community do better.
I think we would.
But I think that's something that I would add, because I think it's so fun. But also too, you think about like our landscape, like downtown isn't that big.
Yeah.
Like, where are you gonna ride them? Like up
Dude,
and down a couple streets, but I would still do it.
I would ride like from downtown to like over by the like skate park over there across the bridge, and like it would be like kind of just open it up a little bit.
I think it would be cool. So that would be one thing that I would add.
Okay, the scooters as well. Okay, I love it.
Yeah, and specifically birds.
Birds,
and
yes,
the reason
they go fast.
Well, that. And I still have like money on my bird account because I got too much.
Where did you get it from? Omaha?
I don't even remember where it was. But if someone's gonna bring in like the limes or something else, like just don't waste your time.
Omaha has the limes.
Don't waste your time, because I have bird money.
Okay.
And I need to use that money. So if you're bringing it and you're watching, you're listening, like bring the birds, because I've got money to spend. On your little scooters.
Birds are in Arizona, I think Chicago, and then lime is in Omaha. So
yeah, I don't know. Mine were all like
bird
Cali
account.
Miami.
Okay. You heard it here first. Okay, so Texas Roadhouse.
Yep.
Birds.
And birds.
Okay.
Scooters.
Let's
go.
I mean, maybe it like needs to like you need to make one that you actually have to like push sometimes.
So it's okay to be lazy sometimes.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's how you build a little bit of confidence.
Plus, Albert, we want them to come to Fitbody.
Yes.
So ride the bird to Fitbody.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
And hey, that might solve like the whole busing
what if
system.
Fitbody brought him, and Fitbody had a whole bunch of birds, and you could just go.
Oh, dude, that would be a great marketing tactic. Just like, hey, if you're at Fitbody, you can use a bird. If you don't have a
working
car,
out and you don't want to like walk to your car, you could just ride the bird.
Well, or like the busing system. I know they've done a great job like making it better.
Yeah.
But like if you don't have a vehicle and you can't afford an electric bike, it'd be like have a stack of birds. Just come to Fitbody. You get to use it for a day. If you come back the next day, you can keep using it.
That's my entrepreneurial brain, just wanting to always, like, my wife said no to the Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say no to the bird. Just stay focused.
Yeah, you're not gonna chase the shiny object.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta stay focused.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up, like, just I know this will probably release in like a month and a half or so, but like tell the people what you got going on. Maybe if you know, like in what would it be? Like September, or end of August, beginning of September. Labor Day weekend. Yeah. Like if you got anything going on that you want people to know about.
Yeah. I mean, at Fitbody, we always offer a free week. And so regardless of like we're always running through different like programs.
For sure.
So at that time, we're probably going to be running either a 6-week or 8-week challenge.
Okay.
But regardless whether we are or we aren't, man, we had a free week. Come in and try it out. We've got 2 locations. We've got one in the center of town, which is now kind of hidden.
Yeah.
But it's by Eric's Bike Shop in Staples.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one on the west side, right by Shenanigans on 26th and TLS. So come in and try it out for a free week, because the best thing, like I said kind of before, is if you come in and try it out and it's not for you, we're not going to like pressure you and make you feel like you have to do it. But if it is right for you, it might just be the thing that changes your life forever, because I think that health and fitness is the gateway drug to a better life.
Oh, dude, 100%. You heard it here. CJ Werkamp, owner of Fitbody Bootcamp. Thanks for being on. Really appreciate it. You can find him at Fitbody.
That's right.
Or online.
Yep.
Do you have an account? Instagram?
Yep. Instagram, Facebook, all the things. It's CJ Werkamp.
Okay, CJ Werkamp. Awesome. Yep. Well, appreciate you being on.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much, Albert.
Fitbody Scoot Camp.
Fitbody Scoot Camp. Let's go.
Dude, I love that bird thing.
Come on.
Dude, I totally agree with you. Like the
we need them.
East Side Texas Roadhouse. For sure.
Heck yeah. Well, cool. Hey, that was fun.
Dude, yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks for watching another episode of Move to Sioux Falls. If you liked this episode, please hit that like and subscribe button so you can enjoy more content. Also, we forgot to mention, CJ Werkamp will be on Dancing with the Sioux Falls Stars, so don't forget to check that out.